Hi, this is Cecilia from Tarot by Cecilia, and this is your weekly tarot guidance for the week of November the 13th through the 19th of 2017. This week we have two things going on that I want to mention. The first one is a big old yuck. On the 14th, we will see Mercury enter shadow. So that's right, it's going to interfere with your holiday season. And that being said, it might be time to start looking at or holding off on, those technology related purchases, cars, anything of that nature, planning trips. Just be careful with those, okay? So keep that in mind as you do this. The retrograde isn't coming yet, but usually once Mercury enters shadow, you start seeing little hints of it. Now, on the 18th, we will have a new moon in Scorpio. And this month thus far has been so much different than all of the other months of the year. When I was putting the cards down, I couldn't help but notice that you're just so preoccupied now with your future, but in a different way, okay? Like you're aware of what's coming towards you, and you're more aware of what you need to do, and you're trying to look through all of the options that are available to you. Yes, that's right. You still have options. You still have things going on. You overcame that major hurdle that you had, and now your focus is on the change that you can make for your future, and how to prepare for it. So it's almost like mesmerizing, because you're realizing that some of your hopes and dreams that you've had for a really long time are possible now. Just think about that. What a change from the beginning of this year until this moment, and until this week. Okay, so there's some very creative new beginnings here. And I feel like this started back around the time that Jupiter went into Scorpio. It's not to say you weren't doing anything before then, but it kind of began back then where it really was kicking into gear. And it's been that whole new moon thing. Like at the new moon, every new moon, you're going forward more. You're going forward. So this is an absolutely amazing time. It's almost like I've been trying to, as I was putting these down, it's as though there's something that you're trying to do. And you know how when you, I don't know, like when you go to the circus and you see the people and they manage to, the person's attached to the board and they throw the knives and they catch the clothing, but they miss the person. It's like that kind of feeling, like you're nailing it down, but there's no harm in this. Okay, that's my point. There's no harm in this. There's something very special that's happening. It's like you're manifesting it. It's like if you could do everything you could to hit it and secure it and say, this is it, it's mine. I'm nailing it down. It isn't going anywhere. Okay, that's how you feel about it. And this is indeed a very special week. It's full of, wow, so much divine intervention and so much success, especially at the time of the new moon. Now, one of the things that you've heard me mention in these last couple of years is how when all of this was over, so many of you would want to write a book. Okay, and I think that there are real viable books coming out of these experiences, where you've started with the Pluto-Uranus squares and even going back to the last set of Leo-Aquarius eclipses, things that have come about. It's just been more than a soap opera, okay? So much has happened. But so many of you, now that you have success associated with the hard times, you feel better equipped to, pass your victories along to others. Like, hey, I was down and out once. Not only did I survive, I came through with flying colors. Life is totally different, but, it's like there's that kind of conversations going on. And, not that you may be standing in front of a room of people, but you never know. I'm telling you, it's like your power. You're back in your power. That fear, you don't fear the hard times. You're like, if there's something that I don't like, in my life. I'm going to move on from it. You are creating whatever it is you want. And there's a lot here that also has to do with relationships for this week. And I want you to think of it in these terms, okay? You're not the only one that went through all of this. So did pretty much everybody else out there. That being said, everyone else is also getting to, at least most people are, a good point in their lives. Things feel brighter. They seem more under control. And all of those plans are, coming to fruition. All right. This is a key week of being able to move on even more on your journey. Okay. Now, what this has to do with relationships, like I said, on the 14th, Mercury enters shadow. Here we go again. Those people that come out of the woodwork. But it's okay. All right. I think that if anyone comes back around now, that, before you would have been like, you're just messed up. I'm done. You're messed up. You may not have said it to them, but maybe you were thinking it to yourself. There's a good possibility that in this time frame, now that they have finally straightened their life out, they can come back around and, I don't want to say be the person that you wanted them to be, because we should never be trying to change someone, but to just be themselves and have that glow of success about them, where they're beaming and they're happy to be there, and they can hold a conversation with you. Because you remember, one of the major themes of this whole entire year has been entering into that new identity. Wasn't just all about you. It's about everybody else too. And I want to say, if not this week, come next week, which is Thanksgiving in the U.S., okay? I think that's where you really begin to see a change. But in any person that shows up. So it's not like you're going to go, oh, you again. You might think that, but I think that you're going to see a change in the individual. And that makes all the difference in the world. All right? So, because in my mind, this month, at some point, and it probably has to do with a person who comes into your life, whether they're from the past or it's new, it takes you to that spot in June where it's ready to go to, I want to say, another level. Something's going on. So we're gonna kind of follow this one plot line that's going on here and see what happens to it. Because I think for some it could be, it's not showing it necessarily that it's a love interest, but that's the thing. It may need the time to develop into one. But I think that this person who's coming along had to fix their life first. They were not capable of the commitment that was necessary. And neither were you. That's what, I've been saying that for so long. It's like, you had to be in that space as well. So here's everybody coming into their new being in the month of November. Feeling much more balanced and just like working away at everything. I think that there's like, even though there's that opportunity to kind of breathe with things this month, I just really feel that fire for change is there. Like the passion to make it happen. Because when you go back, and not that anyone really wants to sit and think about all the things that happened to them since the Pluto-Uranus squares that began in 2012, it's like, oh my, look at everything that I have survived. Look at who I have become now. I can do more. See, that's the thing. You didn't just get dropped off in this new life and then that's it, and you go on about your business and everything stays the same forever. You're like, not so much that it's a challenge, but I think you feel challenged to create more in a good way, because what you're working on creating is some form of blissful happiness, and everybody thinks of that in a different way. What will make you happy? Okay, I'll be honest with you. I want to say that, in the recent years, your perception of what this is has totally changed. Okay? Totally changed. You are definitely, wow. You're figuring out how to separate completely. Now, for most of you, you've already done the major thing that you need to do, but I feel like there's more things on your list, because I still see the list here, and you're tackling it and going along, and I'm like, I can make anything happen now. I think what's going on here is that everyone wants something, and you don't have that something just yet. But that's what's beginning here this week, next week, somewhere in this time frame, okay, where that real transition in your life begins. Think of all the transitions you've been through since 2012. Now you're in one that's just totally changing everything. You've entered this new life. You've become like this whole new person with things that you're doing. Either you're in a new job, a new relationship, a new home. Well, so many things that could possibly have changed. And I want to say now more than ever, in charge of your own transformation. And that means so much to you. You have a major wish coming true this week, okay? But I think it's toward your, what you want, what you're passionate about. Keep that in mind. It might not be the ultimate fulfillment of the wish, is what I'm trying to say. That type of thing. But you're so... See, as you've watched all of this unfold, and things changed. They changed so much in October, right? Now, here we are, and it's November, and I'm telling you, there's this sharing that's going on. And, in relationships where I think it's not just about generosity and sharing, that kind of thing. I think it's also sharing your experiences and showing people what is possible. You take a little of this and a little of that, and you can go, voila, and, concoct a whole new life. It really is unbelievable. But you have, in essence, removed yourself from the hard times. And will we bring up the words hard times again? I'm sure we will. Okay? Because I think that we all need to be reminded. It's like that being reminded where you came from kind of thing. Just so we don't get too cocky about it as we go forward. But really, truly, see, here's the thing. Some of you are going to be prone to worrying that these things are going to happen again. Honestly, I don't believe so, okay? I think that it's all done. It's all over. Will there be stressful things that come up in your life? There's bound to be. But I think that you have so much knowledge and wisdom and experience under your belt now that you won't have a problem handling it. And that's really important. You've got everything before you. And, you kind of need to decide which way do you want to go. Okay? That's the thing, though. The choice is yours. What do you want to work on? What do you really want to cultivate in your life? Now, for some of you, this may have to do with, I want to say maybe financial opportunities, where you've been endeavoring to figure out how can you branch out? How can you make more things happen? It's a good thing, all right? And, you get your best ideas not all in one day or, different intervals, in other words. And so it's kind of the time is here to say, well, I think I'd like to pursue this for a little while. And that's fine. It may not even be permanent, but, you're going to weigh it out and you're going to decide. Because I think that you're a little bit on the fence about what you want to do next. Because it's almost mind-boggling, the things that have happened. And, I can't help it. I'm just like, well, okay. But, you have to actually... I want to say rather than consulting anyone else, you can, but I think that you need to rely on your own intuition as well. Now, all that, it's like, have you ever seen a game of pickup sticks? I forget how you play. And I know everybody's going to tell me now. But it's kind of like, phew, they're all just going up in the air. Okay? And I don't see you scrambling to get them. It's like, boy, my load is lighter. Seriously. It is. But I'm telling you, there is this sense of knowing that you have this week. And it's not saying like, oh, you're psychic or something like that. It's this sense of knowing the knowledge and the wisdom that you've gained. And I'm telling you, you're going to find yourself in a position where you're able to impart that to others, whether it's through a kind word or whatever, to help see them through, to easier times. Because not everybody, even though there are so many, similar themes to people's stories, it doesn't mean that it's all hunky-dory everywhere. We know that that's not realistic. Okay. So, what you are hoping to achieve. Oh, I'm thinking that, see, like I just said, I think that you're on a journey from here in November that takes you to June. All right. So we'll have to look and see when the new moon in June is, because I think that there's a very important new beginning that's coming at that time. Keep that in mind. That should be interesting. So it seems like a long way off, but look how far we've come already, right? Yeah. See, there's definitely. Now, this new moon, it brings more change. Yeah. You know what you're done with. And yeah, there's things, they didn't work out. But the difference now is that you are the creator. You are the one who's making things happen so that the door is open. And what I'm seeing here repeatedly is the new moon. Okay? No more feeling stuck. Oh my God. That's given me that, like, where it wells up in my chest, in my throat. I am so serious. Yeah. All the disillusionment, all of that, it's gone. Releasing all your fears. I'm sitting here. I've got some extreme chills going on. You have changed your entire life. You have changed your entire perspective. And I think no matter what comes now, you can handle it. You really, truly have been through, probably one of the most difficult times of your life. Maybe not for all of you. Some of you may have more coming. But I think that you've seen that that's pretty much it. It's almost that sense of, like when someone thinks that they cheated death. Okay? That's the only way I can put it. You just feel like, wow, I really did that. I pulled it off. I managed to make it happen because there's new beginnings here. So the door that opens, it's probably very much associated with the wish. Okay? So much is coming your way. What an incredible week. Yeah, and it's all karmic. You are, you're just like, that's it. I'm putting my life together the way I want. Because you've been trying to rebuild it for a while. But truly, you are so in charge. And you have the blessings of the universe to do it. I love it. And here comes your rest. I think more so next week than this week. Okay? I don't know why I want to say that. But things are finally going to level out and be fair. And you will see that you have achieved the balance that you've been seeking for such a long time. And then the journey continues. So I want to thank you very much for being here. And I'll see you again real soon. Take care.